What's up guys, Cassandra here and welcome back to my channel. So I've been really loving assumption and rumor videos lately, so I decided to make one about being a voice actor. But first, before we get into that, if you are new here, subscribe and smash the bell button so you get notifications of when I post new videos. Okay, so I asked you on YouTube and Twitter what your assumptions about being a voice actor are. And I got some really surprising reactions and answers. So let's get into it. Lucian says that you're fired after every job and have to continually look for work. So I laughed when I read this one. I thought it was pretty harsh. We're not really fired after every job. The job just ends. You know, if the game is done, if the season of the show is done, there's nothing else to work on. So it's not like we're getting fired, it's just the job isn't happening anymore. I don't know why this one makes me laugh so much. But the second half, you have to continually look for work. I would say this is true. You know, a lot of the times I'll work on a game for like one session, or if it's something huge like Persona 5, I'll have several sessions, or Tales of Graces, I had sessions for like 3 months, but it was like once or twice a week. And then after that, your gig is over. And yeah, you should be continually auditioning all through that and really all through your career, so you have the next thing to work on. Mithra Boy says, you have to be able to change your tone of voice on the spot. I would say this is true. In a session where you are paid to be there, you are being paid to perform. So if somebody asks you to do a certain voice, you gotta do something on the spot because that's what they expect of you. I would say it's probably not a good idea to say, let me work on that and I'll come back and do it tomorrow. Yeah, that's not good. Alejandro Saab said that you're rich. There are some voice actors that are rich. I mean, Tom Kenny sold his house in the Hollywood Hills for like over $1 million. I think just like anywhere, voice actors kind of run the gamut. Some voice actors are rich, and some have survival jobs, and some are just getting started. So if you're just getting started, you're likely not going to strike it rich from being a voice actor right away. It can take many years to build up a career in voice acting. I've been doing this for over 20 years. For real, I started when I was a child. Daniel Amsier says that you have thousands invested in microphones. For me, that's not true. I have 2 microphones. One is a Telefunken Copperhead, and the other is a traveling Apogee mic that plugs directly into my laptop, so I only use that when I'm traveling. You know who does have thousands of dollars in microphones? The studios. Josh Maldonado said, you can work in your pajamas. Okay, sure, yes, you could technically work in your pajamas because the audience isn't seeing you, they're only hearing your voice. But you know who is seeing you? The director, the producer, the engineer, the front desk person, all the people you pass on your way into the studio. So you have to think, do I want those people to see me in my pajamas? For some people, that answer is yes. For me, that answer is no. Now, if I'm recording something at home, then yes, I can totally wear my pajamas and it's fine because literally nobody is seeing me. Lewis said that voice actors are naturally talented with their voice and don't have to work very hard to be successful. I would say this is false. There are a lot of people who are born with unique voices, but the acting, guys, it is so much a part of being a voice actor. You could have the best voice in the world, but if you can't deliver the lines, you're not gonna work. There's a lot of work that goes into voice acting. And it's not just on the job, it's also the training, the auditioning, the hustle. It's a lot, and you guys never see it because you only see the end product. Tara St. Michael said, I don't assume this personally, but it's a common assumption that you have to be good at doing a lot of voices to voice act. There are some voice actors that can do a ton of different voices. Tara Strong, Eric Bauza, people I'm forgetting. But there are also voice actors that just have their voice, and their voice is good enough to be cast over and over and over and over. Whether that's in commercials or audiobooks, or maybe they just continually do the same character in every single game or animation that they're in. Some people just have one voice and they know how to use it. Donovan House assumes that they're cool. I would say most of us are pretty cool. Cat on Mars Bar says, I thought you have to have a degree in acting, theater, and/or communications to even be a voice actor or broadcaster. So I can only speak to being a voice actor. While you don't necessarily have to have a degree in acting or theater, you do have to have some sort of training. So where you get that training can be up to you. So yes, you could get a degree, and many of us do, or you could do what I did, and I studied acting on the side while I was also going to school, and that includes middle school, high school, and college. I actually have a degree in journalism. Red Cup says, they are just as articulated in real life as they are at work. So for me, this is actually not true. When I'm at work, when I'm recording, I am very, very particular about my diction, and I make sure that everything is pronounced correctly. And if I hear something myself that I don't like, even if nobody else hears it, I will ask to go back and do it again. Now, I've been told that when I'm off duty, my diction sucks. So there you go. But I actually have met a lot of actors, and I could just immediately tell they were actors because of like the way they carried themselves and how they spoke. Their enunciation was perfect with every word. I don't know, some people are just born to be on a stage. Wobbly TV asked, do you ever get hate from sub fanatics claiming you didn't do good playing a character compared to the subbed anime? I have to say, no, not to my face. There are probably forums somewhere deep on the internet that like to diss English voice actors for anime, but I don't go there, so I don't know what they're saying. But Frankie Hatch says, I assume you probably have a second job. Right now, I do not have a second job. I haven't had a survival job, as we like to call them, in the acting biz in maybe like 6 years, I want to say. I'm actually not sure. I would say a lot of actors do have a second job, and that's just the reality of having a career as a creative person. It is very difficult to make a career as a creative person, especially as an actor, and especially in a place like Los Angeles where there are just thousands of actors competing for every single job. So until you get to a certain level, most people do have second jobs, or survival jobs, as we like to say. Nintwindo said, you are not allowed to criticize any other voice actor's work or any show you've been in. I mean, there's nothing that we sign that says do not criticize other actors or shows that you've been on, but I would say it's pretty professional to not do those things. So for me, that would be true. Ian #GrookieGang says, all the same voice actors voice every character, so you'll never be one. It can seem at times like the same people are voicing every show or every game, and that's because those people are at the top of their game right now, and they're really talented, and a lot of people want to work with them. That being said, nothing lasts forever, especially in Hollywood. So, I wouldn't let that discourage you from trying to break in, because at one point in time, all the people who are working now were not working, and there was a different group of people working all the time. So, Jonathan Amir said that nailing a line on the first take is an unspoken requirement. So that sounds like it puts a lot of pressure on voice actors. Now, nailing a line can also mean two things. One is that you say the line without flubbing any of the lines. I would say that's pretty much a requirement. The other is that you nail their interpretation of the line on the first take. There are some directors who really like to be collaborative and experiment and try the line a lot of different ways before they pick a take. There are other directors and projects that are on a huge time crunch, and it's just appreciated if you can nail your line in the first take. So acting is all about making choices. So a choice that I make for a line is sometimes spot on with what the writers and directors were hearing for that line. Other times, the writers and directors were hearing something else. So that is when they would redirect me to a different read. That's not always a bad thing. Tenshi asked, is it true that you don't often meet your fellow actors on a project? For example, Tales of Graces, did you ever record or even meet Laura Bailey, Kate Higgins, etc.? So it really depends on what type of project you are working on. For every video game I've done, except for one, I recorded separately from the rest of the cast. So unless they were coming out of the studio as I was coming in, or vice versa, I didn't actually meet the other people. However, a lot of original animation records as a group record. So you're literally in the recording studio with the other actors and you are reading the script basically like as a live play, except it's animation. So in that case, I know all the other actors on that. And I actually have met Laura and Kate on different projects. So there you go. All right, this video is getting really long, so I'm gonna end it here and have a part 2 of answering your assumptions. And if there's anything I didn't answer that you assume, put it in the comments and let me know. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. Stick around, we do a lot of fun stuff here, and I would love to see your beautiful face back on my channel. Thanks for tuning in. I will see you next time. Peace.